Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are completely tearing down the intimidation factor and breaking down everything you need to know about formally establishing a business in the great state of Tennessee. If you've been dreaming of taking that side hustle and turning it into a fully recognized, legally protected entity, you are in the exact right place. We're going to walk step by step through the entire formation process so you can get up and running with absolute confidence. Thinking about starting a business in Tennessee? An LLC might be your perfect starting point, and we're here to guide you through every detail. Seriously, we know your time is super valuable, so we are skipping all the fluff today. We're going to rely strictly on official data and actual state requirements to map out this entire journey for you. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. We've broken this down into 5 major phases: why choose an LLC, naming and getting a registered agent, the core paperwork of your articles and operating agreement, securing your EIN and tax compliance, and finally, your ongoing Tennessee requirements. Let's jump right into Section 1, why choose an LLC, building the foundation. Before you even think about selling products or signing contracts, you absolutely need a strong, legally recognized base. So, what actually is a limited liability company, or LLC? Well, think of it as a literal suit of armor for your personal assets. Under Tennessee Code Section 48249, this business structure legally walls off what you own personally. You know, your family home, your car, your personal bank accounts, from the debts and liabilities of the business. It's a total game changer. It gives you the flexibility to operate efficiently, plus the absolute peace of mind that if the business faces a lawsuit or runs into debt, your personal livelihood is completely shielded. All right, moving right along to the first actionable phase of our build, Section 2, naming and registered agent. This covers steps 1 and 2 of the Tennessee formation process. Step 1 is all about locking down that perfect business name. Now, Tennessee requires your name to be completely unique, or, as they say, distinguishable upon the record. The biggest actionable insight here: use the state's completely free search tool on the TNCB database before you do anything else. And hey, it's highly recommended to check online domain name availability at the exact same time, just so your web presence perfectly matches your legal name. Now, if you find that perfect name but aren't quite ready to file your official formation documents, no problem. You can just file Form SS9425. For a quick $20 fee, the state will lock down and reserve that name specifically for you for 120 days. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast for Step 2, appointing your registered agent. By Tennessee law, every single LLC has to have a registered agent with a physical street address right there in the state. And no, a P.O. box will not cut it. You can definitely act as your own agent, but here's the catch. Your personal address becomes part of the public record, and you literally have to be constantly available at that location during standard 9 to 5 business hours to accept legal documents. Remember, process servers do not call ahead to see if you're home. Conversely, utilizing a commercial service usually costs somewhere between $100 and $300 a year. But honestly, that fee buys you total privacy and guarantees continuous legal compliance. It frees you up to actually run your business without being permanently chained to a desk. Once your name and agent are set, we transition straight into the paperwork phase. Section 3, Articles and Operating Agreement, covering Steps 3 and 4. This is where your business officially comes to life on paper. Step 3 is filing your Articles of Organization with the Secretary of State. And you really need to be aware of Tennessee's unique and frankly sometimes surprising filing fee structure. It basically costs $50 per member to file. But here is the catch. There is a mandatory minimum fee of $300. So yeah, even if you are just a single-member LLC, you are going to pay $300. The fee then scales up depending on your member count, capping out at a maximum of $3,000. The good news is you can handle this entire filing and payment directly through the state's online portal. While you're filling out those articles of organization, the portal is going to prompt you to declare your management structure. You basically have 2 main choices. Member managed is the default, and it's definitely the most common for small setups. It just means all the LLC members share the responsibility for day-to-day operations. Everybody pitches in. Conversely, manager managed means you elect specific managers to run the daily grind, while the regular members take a step back and only vote on the really major high-level issues. Your choice here simply dictates how hands-on the ownership team is going to be. Moving right to Step 4, drafting your operating agreement. Now listen, while Tennessee law doesn't technically force you to file this internal document with the state, skipping it is a massive risk. Without it, your business automatically defaults to generic state laws, which might not match how you actually want to operate at all. Plus, almost every bank out there will require an operating agreement just to open a standard business checking account. The absolute essentials you must outline include ownership percentages, voting rights, exactly how profits and losses get distributed, the procedure for adding or removing members, and, of course, the rules for dissolution if you ever have to close the business. Legal entity created? Check. Now we move to the financial setup. Section 4, EIN and tax compliance. Steps 5 and 6 are all about getting the business bank ready and fully tax compliant. Step 5 is securing your employer identification number, or EIN, from the IRS. You can just think of this as the social security number for your business. Now, the absolute most crucial pro tip here is step 1 on this list. Wait for your Tennessee Articles of Organization to be officially approved before you apply. Seriously, wait for that approval. Once you have it, navigate straight to the official IRS website and complete their online application. It is completely 100% free, and you'll actually receive your EIN immediately right there on the screen. And this brilliantly illustrates Step 6, handling your state-specific compliance. Tennessee has some really unique entity-level taxes that you must register for via their TN-TAP online system. Literally, just by registering your LLC in the state, you trigger the franchise tax, which is 0.25% of your net worth with a $100 minimum, and the excise tax, which sits at 6.5% of your net income. Additionally, depending on your revenue, you might be subject to the business tax, which typically kicks in if your gross income crosses that $100,000 mark. Almost there. We've reached the final section of our journey. Section 5, Ongoing Tennessee LLC Requirements. This covers Step 7, and it focuses entirely on maintaining that powerful legal shield you just worked so hard to build. So, the crucial point to remember here is that compliance definitely does not end at formation. It's not a set it and forget it deal. To keep your LLC active and your assets protected, you've got to follow this maintenance checklist. You must file an annual report with the state via the TNCJ portal. You have to pay those minimum franchise and excise taxes every single year. You are strictly required to maintain a continuous registered agent. If they resign, you have to appoint a new one immediately. And finally, keep that operating agreement updated internally. As your business inevitably grows and changes, your rules need to adapt too. Well, look at that. You've done the research, you've filed the paperwork, you've set up your financial compliance, and you completely understand your ongoing commitments. Your Tennessee LLC is legally formed, entirely protected, and tax compliant. So, what bold move will you make first? This explainer is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Please consult a lawyer or a professional service for legal guidance specific to your situation.